Football is a universal game, and this season is a peak period for SMEs and the corporate world to tap into various business opportunities it presents. This is Inside SMEs. By SMEs, I mean small and medium scale enterprises. I am Chinoso. Stay with us. Worldwide, the informal sector has come to be referred to as the engine of economic growth and the fulcrum of the economy. In many countries, small and medium enterprises, SMEs, have been recognized as the catalyst for achieving equitable and sustainable industrial diversification and disposal, while in some economies, SMEs account for well over half of the total share of employment, sales and value added. Inside SMEs focuses on SMEs in Nigeria and the key players in the sector, while highlighting their survival strides in a peculiar operating business environment. Inside SMEs will be the reference point for small and medium-scale businesses in Nigeria and will be the voice of the numerous entrepreneurs in one of Africa's largest economies. The program is here to educate, inform and renew the hopes of the unsung entrepreneur in the land of his birth. Keep watching Inside SMEs, the entrepreneur's voice. Hello, welcome to Topical Issues. Here we discuss issues as they affect SMEs. Today we'll be looking at the opportunities available to corporate Nigeria in the season of World Cup. And with me here to discuss this is Mr. Tayo Balogu. He is the CEO of Sportlinks. He is a dynamic personality. He has been featured on many sports TV shows. If you agree with me, he is the perfect person to discuss this topic. Welcome, Mr. Tayo Balogu.
Thank you so much, also.
Yes, this is the season of a World Cup. Now we want to know how corporate Nigerians will take benefits from this season, showcase their brands, services and products. Well,
it's interesting you will ask that question because if you notice, a lot of people that actually participated at the World Cup this period is alarming. Let me use the word alarming. But that is understandable because the World Cup is the only platform you can get to connect with as many people as possible, over 60 million people all over the world, if not more, if my statistics don't fail me, over 100 million people, which is understandable. I mean, the essence of communicating or marketing is to communicate with your consumers, and which better way can you do it if not with football? I can assure you this is the only platform that you can get as many people, irrespective of the religion, tribe, background, culture, whatever it is, come together at a particular period in time and actually participate in a particular event. It can only be football. We've seen it with other sports, but the crowd participation is phenomenal with football. So people want to take advantage of that. Brands want to take advantage of that, and this is the best time for them to come together, spend so much money, and make sure they communicate with the ends, the consumers, if you want to put it that way. So it's a perfect platform for corporate people.
If you have a brand, what are you expected to do? How would you take opportunity of this particular World Cup season to advertise, to promote your brand? What would you do? It's
something we've been advocating for brands, for a very long time. I mean, sometimes some people want to look for key matches that have that viewership is assured, and actually want to go ahead and sponsor a segment or participate in that particular game. However, we try to let you know that we can always build a tempo. That's why we're always happy. That's why we're excited anytime the Super Eagles actually get to participate at a major tournament.
And it is a great opportunity for Nigerians too.
That's right, because I mean, this is our brand. The Super Eagles is a brand that belongs to Nigeria, so it's only good to associate. That's why you have so many corporate bodies endorsing the Super Eagles individually, collectively as a team, or even if it's the coach. So it's a perfect opportunity to actually associate yourself with a particular brand. In this regard, the Super Eagles is the brand of Nigeria going to the World Cup. Brands who want to associate, unfortunately everybody cannot do that, so we look for pocket size sponsorship or endorsement to actually creep into. One thing for me is it's a viable platform to actually associate yourself around the Super Eagles if you don't have the big box, because this is where you have the big players come to play. So it's more like outbidding, so to speak. I mean, if you can afford more than me, you probably get the juicy part of sponsorship. You can still work around. Corporate brands need to understand that you can still work around a platform and make sure you still get the endorsement and enjoy participation, so to speak, for your chosen brand or product.
Okay, Mr. Tayo, how would other businesses who do not produce sports item benefit from the season too?
Association. Basically, the sincere truth is there's not like a sports associated brands. The associated brands are the guys that when you want to talk about footwears, jerseys or whatever it is, but not those guys don't even actually sponsor. They only wait for people to come and buy. They just make they create awareness, so to speak. But the SMEs actually can associate because it's consumable goods are consumable goods. People need to know how you could consume this. You package it properly and sell it to the people. Now you probably can still buy airtime or commercial time on a TV program or a program like this, but the platform that you can connect with much more people, irrespective of the tribe. It doesn't mean you're showing it's an opportunity, it's a window. So I mean, it doesn't have to be a sports related brand. It could be anybody. It could be anybody doing anything, and you want to let people know you associate with the particular brand and you let people know about your product. So it's a window. It's a window that anybody can actually exploit. So it doesn't have to, you don't have to narrow it down. I've heard agencies or people actually let me keep it at people come out to say that because it's a sports brand XYZ people will not like it. We are all human beings. We are all citizens of
we are all lovers of football.
Everybody loves football to a certain level. So I mean, many people saw the Super Eagles participate at the World Cup. People that have not seen football, a football game, actually would stop by to see what is going on with the Super Eagles anytime they go to play. Some people saw the Argentina play and they have not seen a game of football in a very long time, but they probably will take time out to see these games. That's what the World Cup will avail you of in such situations. So it's a window. Whatever sponsorship platform you have that is in and around football, you can exploit and achieve whatever you need to achieve.
Okay, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Mr. Tayo Balogun is still with us here in the studio. Mr. Tayo, how can the Super Eagles benefit, especially in this age of endorsement?
It will depend a lot on how they perform at their club side. Remember, the national team is not an everyday situation. The World Cup doesn't come every day. It doesn't come every month. It takes about 4 years before you get the World Cup. The Nations Cup takes about 2 years before it comes back too. So it takes the level of participation to determine how they'll be endorsed at their different club sites. Good enough, most of these guys actually apply their trade in Europe. So the way they participate, Mikel won the Champions League with Chelsea, won the Europa Cup with Chelsea, probably will win the Premiership with Chelsea. You never can tell. Should they even leave Chelsea, I'm sure he will join a club that will be in good stead to also win the league. The like of Osaze, yes, old was. He is a brand of the Super Eagles. I mean, he has dedicated so long to the Super Eagles. Achieved to some certain level. Probably has not won the Nations Cup, but he's won some decent medals for the Super Eagles. So he's also going to be given a consideration as well. The new guys that are coming up, I mean, it depending on how we do as a team and how they also do at the club side level, would announce endorsement from different club sides. However, I remember we're Nations Cup champions, we're defending champions of the Nations Cup. So it's very fantastic to make the Super Eagles a phenomenal brand and endorse them as a team now, right, as it stands, because these guys are the champions of Africa. So Super Eagles as a brand, a pocket of individuals will be endorsed because of the level of play they've given to the Super Eagles. So it's something that after this year, we'll probably see a lot of more endorsements individually. Then the guys that have actually been given the opportunity, depending on the message you want to pass across, depending on the brand. You might want to use the younger ones, the guys that play in the local league, or the guys that are younger. If you want to connect with a certain level of people, a certain cadre of people, I mean, you select the particular player that you think has done well, and you endorse him and you communicate. The essence of endorsement is actually communicate your brand ethics to your consumers. So you look at what works for you with success, because I mean at this level they're successful. Importantly, that's it.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Balogun. But before you go, what would you want to leave our viewers with? What should they take home? Football,
I maintain, is the fastest connection between the brands or whatever it is and over 100 million people. I mean, that's when people forget the fight. That's when there's peace. We call it a month of peace. Anytime the World Cup takes place in June, because we have less assaults, we have less situations of people having war. We have pockets, but I mean, the peace around that period is minimal. Now, I will advise corporate brands, not to discriminate. You don't have to wait till the World Cup, but football is a very viable platform. It's a tool that you can use to connect and market whatever you need to do, be it small, medium enterprise, be it a small scale, be it a large scale, be it whatever it is. The big boys will always want to play the lower ones, but the lower ones can also have a way of working around, you know, football and endorsing wherever they need to get. Pass your message across. So they should not shy away from doing it. Football is big business. It's the biggest payday in the world. I mean, yes, we have basketball in the United States, we have the cricket, we have the baseball, but football is worldwide. It's a global phenomenon. So people should not shy away from it. People should actually go ahead and love the game. People should work around it. The small scale enterprises especially should see what they can do to enhance our level of football. I mean, Brazil, many of these people, it's not as if they're particularly a rich country, but they'll be better off because of the World Cup. They have a football culture. It has been a joint effort to actually take them to this level. So, I mean, if business is associating with football, it will enhance our football, and it will also enhance the business, because a lot of people will be impressed, will be aware of individual products that are sponsoring football. So for me, I think everybody should just go ahead and spend some good money.
And then earn some very good money too.
That's right. And also earn some good money. I mean, by the time you market, people get to know your products and they get to buy. So it's a spiral effect. That's what I think.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tayo Balogun. It's been wonderful having you here on Inside SMEs.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
The program is still Inside SMEs. Please stay tuned. Zematech Nigeria Limited, a renowned name in building and finishing material industry, has stockist of a wide range of Spanish vitrified tiles, porcelain tiles, ceramic tiles, marble granite, skirting, sanitary wares, metallic security doors, tile adhesive, grout, among others. Zematech Nigeria Limited has a franchise with Pamesa Ceramica of Spain, a renowned producer of tiles in Europe, whose product is tested and trusted world over. That is the reason why we are the thoughts of the modern architect, builders, property developers, and asset managers in Nigeria and beyond. Contact us at our head office, plots 10 and 11, second floor, Amuwo-Odofin Industrial Layout, Mile 2, along Apapa Oshodi Expressway, Lagos. You can also reach us on these numbers: 0809-650-6755 or 081-794-60419 or 081-794-60433.
No one can promise a dream come true.
At Zematech Nigeria Limited, we add beauty and value to your building.
Football is the world's #1 sport, with bars and viewing centers often filled to the brim with fans whenever a game is on. Naturally, savvy businesses will use this period to bolster their bottom lines. We find out from Nigerians how good the World Cup has been for business.
My name is Akonde Agele. I manage this business. It's a hotel business, a viewing center, and a clubhouse.
My name is Peter Onyekachi Boke. I am an artist also, and I love 1960. That is why I'm playing it, and I love football.
My name is Adedeji Temeloju, so I work at Mary Bet's shop.
My name is Adrian Okosun. The bar business and added value to my business. So my major work is construction and fabrication.
As regards this, because the World Cup just started, and there has not been kind of let's say the big matches. Only 1 or 2 have just been played, and while those ones were played, we had good sales, because there was a lot of people. There were a lot of people that came. They turned up for the match, and it was good. Football season, there's always increasing, number of customers, and it sells and sells too.
It affects some people betting because you people refuse to play one game. If you people agree now generally, everybody should play one game, any amount, then you people can make more money and the people can win more. It is increased because multitude of people are going to internet and deposit some huge of amount, which they cannot deposit here, and they will win secretly, which nobody knows except themselves.
Some people come to play some jobs, but not really too much. Now it's very okay because other season, some people had, the ball was very much, so the soccer was very much, so people are coming to play. But World Cup, not too much person plays World Cup because it's not too much. But the other season, last season, some people come a lot to play.
I will say that yes, because the World Cup is the most celebrated football event in the world. If I look at it from the time of Premiership up to this period, we have a lot of patronage during football games. And when the World Cup started for a few days now, the patronage has increased very well.
Patrick Okedinachi Utomi, popularly known as Prof. Utomi or Pat Utomi, is a Nigerian professor of political economy and management expert. He is a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants of Nigeria and a former presidential candidate. With a passion for dignity of the human person and the spirit of enterprise, he is the founder of Center for Value in Leadership, CVL.
Thank you very much.
So, a lot of people know you to be a professor, and then they're talking about you being an entrepreneur. At what point did you decide to be an entrepreneur? How do you manage the two?
The only jobs I've had have actually applied for me. I didn't apply for the jobs. My first real job of work, if you will, I was as a youth corper, fairly naturally in Nigeria. And I worked in a very entrepreneurial organization as, guess what, a reporter.
Wow.
As an organization called New Breed Organization, one of the great magazine publishing ventures of the 70s, run by a gentleman called Chris Okolie, who was very entrepreneurial. New Breed launched what is technically the first really business magazine in Nigeria called The President.
Pat Utomi is a professor at Lagos Business School. He has served in senior positions in government as an advisor to the President of Nigeria, the private sector, as Chief Operating Officer for the default Volkswagen of Nigeria.
So when I was working on my PhD thesis, I came home to do some field research, talked to a number of the super permanent secretaries of the era before, the permanent secretaries of that time, one of who was Alhaji Abubakar Alhaji. Alhaji Abubakar Alhaji was then permanent secretary in the Federal Ministry of Finance. He was quite fascinated by what I was doing and actually asked that I come back and work for him, you know, on finishing my PhD. But you know, I never gave a thought to it because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to create a business from get-go. When I came back to Nigeria, all I wanted to do was build enterprise. I started with founding 2 companies. Those 2 companies were designed to take as much advantage as possible of my different skills. Incidentally, I had the good fortune of a fairly broad background. I started from mass communication, public finance, you know, and business administration. So I wanted to take advantage of all of them if I could as an entrepreneur. I founded 2 companies. One of them was based more on my communication strength, and the other was based on my public policy and management backgrounds. One was called UTOMAP, UTOMAPP, which is Management Public Policy Consulting, and the other was called Patai Communications, supposed to create publishing, advertising, public relations kinds of interests.
Prof. Utami belongs to many professional bodies such as Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Institute of Directors, Nigeria Economic Summit Group, and Nigeria Economic Society. What are those challenges of starting up a business in Nigeria, and what's your suggestion on how one could move around those challenges?
Well, I think that you first need to educate people on what entrepreneurship really is. One of the biggest challenges in starting a business is that people start out being motivated by the money they expect to make from the business. Because they are so driven by the money, when the money doesn't come immediately, as it never quite does, unless you are in a rent-seeking business, people then get so frustrated they roll over and just play dead. I think that people must know that it's about value creation. If you create value and people have a dissatisfaction gap, you create value that helps bridge that gap, and you have so much fun, so much fulfillment from doing that. You do it so well that invariably and eventually you can't but make money, if money means anything to you. But it must begin with doing things well. Not long ago I learned a phraseology, say, could mean. It doesn't matter, just do it anyhow. I could mean, you know. There's a commune culture that has prevented us from doing things well in our country.
He coordinated the establishment of several civil society groups on good governance and accountability, such as Transparency in Nigeria, the Center for Values in Leadership, and the Restoration Group. Who are your role models in life, and why do you choose them?
I do have a couple of people that I have tried to emulate from far, from near. At the Africa level, political arena, I was for many years a great admirer of the former Tanzanian President Julius Nyerere. Obviously, I wish he had a deeper understanding, a better understanding of economics, but he was a remarkably committed man who served his people sacrificially, and he always kept Nyerere a template. Of course, I am one who admires visionary leaders of a sacrificial disposition, and in that sense Nelson Mandela comes in very strongly in the review of people I consider mentors at the global level. Great admirer of Mahatma Gandhi. I teach a lot about Gandhi, his deadly social sins and all of that, and so I was quite affected by the Gandhi myth, the mystique. Obviously, Abraham Lincoln ranks very strong in my template, and I have tried to learn plenty from him. At the very local level, big admirer of a gentleman called Michael Okpara, was Premier of Eastern Region. Yes, Dr. Michael Okpara, and very close to home, somebody who literally shared an office with me, Dr. Christopher Kolade, who was MD at Cadbury and was with me on the faculty of the Lagos Business School. So people have things that you learn from and they strengthen you. Hi there, this is Pat Utami, and you're watching Inside SMEs.
Nigeria hosted the 25th World Economic Forum from 7 to 9 May 2014. Nigeria, being the giant of Africa with the largest economy and human population, already plays a crucial role in advancing the continent's growth. This economic forum, which was held in the country's federal capital territory of Abuja between 7th May to 9th, brought together regional and global leaders to discuss
innovative structural reforms and investments that can sustain the continent's growth while creating jobs and prosperity for all citizens. Meanwhile, many businesses are closing shops in some of the cities in the north of Nigeria following the unrest in that part of the country, especially in Borno and some parts of Yobe states, which has been under ceaseless attacks from members of the terrorist Boko Haram sect. This situation has not only slowed down the economic activities of the areas involved, but it has claimed the lives of many business owners as well as those of men, women, and children.
Nothing works better than just improving your products, says Joel Spotsky. I'll see you next week. Bye.